The following podcast is a member of the Pokecasters Network. Pokecasters Network, supporting Pokemon content creators, their shows, and the community of Pokemon fans. To find out more, check out PokecastersNetwork.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook.
What are we gonna, what's on the table for us in-game to do today? What's the plan?
What's the plan?
That is what the start of the episode is for, Daisy.
Okay, I guess I was more of saying, what are we trying to accomplish in the episodes today?
Daisy, you think we accomplish stuff in these shows? Hello everyone, welcome to Not a Scratch, the only podcast that believes that Scratch is an overpowered move. I am your host, your PM, your DM, your GM, Anirudh himself, and with me here, staring at a clock that continuously ticks forward.
It's me, Muhammad. Listen, don't mind me. Sometimes, you just look at a clock and you get mesmerized, and all of a sudden you're thinking about the eventual heat death of the universe, and this got very dark. And over to my left is someone who doesn't recognize the difference between the 9 button and the 6 button on their oven.
Oh, hello, it's me, Daisy, and you would be surprised how true that is.
As the resident baker here, Daisy, has it caused major issues in the past? The 9 versus the 6?
Not.
Just going through a life at this point.
Not in baking, but in almost everything else. Look, it's hard.
Daylight saving time changes become a hassle, I can imagine.
I will say it's not only the 9 and 6 I get confused with. All numbers are just up in the air for me.
Time is relative. Numbers don't exist. The points don't matter. You're fine.
I will say numbers do exist, but time is relative.
Hello everyone, welcome to a regular old episode of Arc 6. I promise everyone I will stop being that guy once we get into the series, but for now I'm still excited about the fact that we're in a new season with new characters, new peoples, the same goal. I think Manaphy's been trying to get to the ocean for the past arc and a half, but the new stuff, woo, hype, etc.
I was about to say new characters, and then I was like, oh right, yeah.
Yeah, we introduced a couple of folks last time. We got old characters as well. In fact, shout out, of course, to Mansoor, who has been an old character that's been like this ghost that's been guiding me the whole time. Did you guys know? In fact, Mansoor, he's still at home right now because what he's doing, he's actually planning Arc 6 for me. This is the secret behind the GM things. Ever since he's left the show, he's been giving me advice and pointers about where to go. A lot of the characters that don't make the light of day, but are like our background. The NPC guy that you walk past, the one reporter, Muhammad, that Kyle walked past, that wasn't the mystery kid, but instead the guy next to him. That was a Mansoor contribution. So he's been doing a lot of stuff,
I thought you weren't using my notes. That seemed a little suspicious.
I might have to go pay this man a visit. Set him straight on a couple things.
I did think, though, when you said he was a ghost in the show, that you were then going to introduce a ghastly named Mansoor.
Well, now everyone listening to the show is going to want that.
Or wait, what's another ghost Pokemon?
There's a bunch of ghosts, depending on which one. How dark do you want to get?
Don't come for me. I was going to say Duskull, but we already have a Duskull. Maybe it's a...
What's the friendliest and least friendly ghost Pokemon that exists?
Mimikyu. It's both Mimikyu.
the answer is Mimikyu. Speaking of Mansoor contributions and stuff like that, last time was episode number 1, and for the first time in a year and a half, I have to ask, who would like to do the history recap?
You know, I thought I would be good at this, but I would be honest that I don't remember anything.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. Listen. Some people are fantastic TTRPG players. You know, they're great at the RP side. They really get into it, and you know, they take notes, and you know, they know what's going on. I feel like you're that kind of player. And last time we didn't really do the note taking thing, and we kind of just went full vibes. So
it's also just been a heck of a week.
That's fair. I can step up and read off the history pages this time if you want.
Lift this bus off of me.
Last time on Not a Scratch, Rose was confusion. Rose was very confusion. And then we went into Psychic Dream World. Rose was not hit by confusion. Rose was slightly more confusion. Then things were explained. Rose was slightly less confusion. We took a night's rest. I don't think Rose's confusion changed much there. And then we got up and it was decided in the dream world, like things got divvied up again. Now Rose and Kyle are keeping up doing their things. And Doran's going with Adam. Everyone else is doing whatever the recruits do while we're not looking at them. And Kyle and Rose make a quick pit stop at the library just to, like, you know, say bye to Adam and Doran, figure out gameplay and stuff. Slight ambush by Victini and Rotom, nothing major. And now they're heading to a train station. And I think Rose is back to being about a 7 or 8 out of 10 confusion.
Yeah, probably sounds about right. I think it's less confusion now and more just general anxiety, but also has no idea why we're doing what we're doing. Other than, man, if he wants to go to the ocean, you said there's an instrument down there, I guess. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Don't worry about it. All will be explained in due time. It's fine.
But I got a cupcake. You want it?
Now's a bad time to mention that Kyle's going keto.
It's okay, I can make keto cupcakes.
Very good summary, Mohammed. The one thing that comes is, so I think, and this wasn't exactly explained because a lot of it would be just me restating how the story has gone for the history of the episode, but I assume Adam, I think when in your little dream world sequence, I think Adam would have explained to Rose, like, okay, so here's the situation. But I think all the words are just words right now in your head. You're like, okay, so we have to get a bunch of magical musical instruments. And then in exchange for all of them, it helps us save the world against a bad guy who was another legendary that helped imbue the powers in the instruments in the first place. But then also, we have to go meet a bunch of other legendaries who are spread across the region to find these musical instruments. And one of them involves this little child. It's just words after words after word. And you're just like, all right, these words make sense to everybody else here, so I hope they'll make sense to me over time.
And then there's also the whole, like, okay, but why? Like, I get it. We have to get these instruments, but also, what?
That's true. I don't think, I'm not even sure if Kyle knows exactly why he's grabbing all the instruments.
Like, what do the instruments do? Why is the world ending? Why does this person want the world to end? How do we know we have to do
Yeah, Kyle's been very much like, world end? Let's how about nah, though?
Yeah, Kyle's just a 10-year-old who was like, I have the chance to be a superhero? Sure, let's do it.
Little do we know, Adam is the villain all along and just has been using Kyle to collect the instruments.
This is a topic.
Jokes on Adam. Kyle has them, so yeah.
That is true. Kyle is storing them. If anyone's going to be the villain, it's going to be Kyle.
What?
Unless the dream world is a scam and it's not actually your room and it's just an extension of Adam.
Ooh. This happens, I think, once an arc where we go back on the idea. Maybe the recruits are the bad guy, and then we quickly dismiss it.
But we never deny it.
We don't deny it.
Don't worry, that's what I'm here for.
We usually just table the idea. So that's the case there. And then
I did forget one major thing. Kyle met a shadowy figure who is apparently like, just absolutely overpowered, but chooses to hold himself back. So yeah, that's a thing.
I believe Kyle made a new friend.
I don't know about friend. I don't know about friend, considering Kyle was immediately like, I need to hide my most prized possession from this person. Or rather, the possession of mine that this person prizes the most from them. But...
yeah. This character, I'm gonna be upfront about this. Usually it's kind of hidden throughout the season, but this character is like Arc 6 me character. Like we had Susie in Arc 1, we had like Carlos Costa maybe in Arc 2 and stuff like that. There are various characters throughout the show that I'm like, this is the character of the season that I'm going to be heavily invested in. I'm being upfront about that. The Magician Thief is my character of the season.
You've got to be very careful telling the audience that you're Susie.
It's very. I think it's been very clear that I'm a big fan of Susie, just as I am a big fan of Carlos Costa, and I'm trying to think who else it would be in recent seasons. I think it's usually a side character. I think it might have been Keldeo in the Arc 4 season.
Mm-hmm.
Would it have been Keldeo or would it have been Victini? Probably Keldeo.
If we had to eliminate the idea of main characters and it had to be a side character, then probably Victini. But we just hung out with Keldeo so much that it worked. And Keldeo to me was like future Trunks in the Dragon Ball series, which I absolutely adore. So it's in that same sort of vein. Anyway, in Arc 6, it is going to be the Magician Thief. I'm locking this in, guys. You all know this. I'm telling you this now. This is a spoiler for the show that I'm being blunt and upfront about. By the end of this arc, we will have seen the Magician Thief at least twice, if not more. So,
at least twice. We've already seen it once. So, if we just prevent you from having the Magician Thief come up again until the end of the arc, then we know it's coming.
See, here's the craziest thing and the fun thing about it is that because they're the Magician Thief and Master of Disguise, I can just retcon myself to be like, nah, that guy you bumped on the train, that's the Magician Thief. Well, there you go.
That's just role playing, friend.
Exactly. Speaking of role playing, we can get into it in a moment, unless there's anything else that we want to ask.
I think we're good. I've got my swim trunks on.
All right then. Without further ado, let us dive on in. And we are here. We are live. We have dived straight into the back of a train as we're about to embark away from Vulcanburg towards the ocean on the eastern side as we head down to a giant river and the city of Vapor. But before we can do that, we got a train journey to go to, which is going to be very, very exciting.
Nothing's ever gone wrong on a train in this show.
Nothing has ever gone wrong on the train. There are no mysteries about trains. There are no weird circumstances that haven't quite been explained on trains or anything like that. They've all been smooth.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely excited to be on a train.
That's true. Rose is like, this is hype. Trains are cool. Speaking of trains, we are going to take a non-stop route to the one-way non-stop to, where are you? To Vapor. Trains go that. Okie doke. So yes, great. So this is going to be a 1-day trip that will cost us 128 poke.
That feels like a ripoff. Come on, 128.
If I had said any number, would you have said the exact same thing?
I think I would have been okay if the number was at most 17.
At 17?
Oh, we have to keep track of money now, huh?
You do have to keep track of money. Daisy, we may have mentioned it in Arc Zero. I actually don't remember. Kyle's out here running on fumes and pennies at this point.
I assume Rose is loaded.
How much do you have, Rose? On hand / in your quote-unquote bank
so
account?
I definitely left a decent chunk to BAP to take care of the thing, but I don't know if it's excessive, but the number we agreed on was 10,000.
Oh yeah, Rose is loaded.
Okay.
Kyle out here like, Rose, my kind friend, do you mind paying for my ticket? Just like hands out, like, please, I would appreciate. I'm a child. I'm living on allowance money.
Sure, I guess.
Oh well, no, I'm joking about this. You don't have to.
Kyle pays for his own ticket, but when we see shiny item in store,
I will buy it for myself.
Fair.
Item for information. How much did you say it was? So I have to subtract 128.
128.
Okay. Oops.
Yep. So
the money in my bank is now a palindrome, and I really like it.
So it's 128 poke. Right now, the time is about 10 a.m. on August 15th, I believe. Yep. Expected reach time is August 16th at about 8 a.m. Or sorry, not 8 a.m. Noon-ish. It's a little over a day.
While we're doing housekeeping, because we didn't do housekeeping last time, I don't know when it happened, but at some point in probably Arc 5, I broke Kyle. As in, Kyle's stats are not legal.
Ooh, you should probably fix that.
Uh,
How broken is broken?
There's one extra point in attacking stats from defensive stats.
Telling me you're not good in true?
They're not incredibly broken.
Yeah, so either subtract one or add one. It's usually what's it? The post level up stuff is your level times 2.
Well, yeah. No. As in, like, I have the right total number of stats added. It's just not legally.
Oh, okay.
Like, I add in between attack, special attack, and speed, I added 31. And between special defense and defense, I added 29.
Okay.
And I don't know where it happened.
Pick one of the attacker ones and throw it into defense.
But I don't want to reduce any of them. Can I just get an extra level?
Can you get a free level? No.
Can I just get a free? If I just get a free level, I add one to one of my defenses and it balances out.
No, it doesn't. Then still off.
No. If I add one to one of my defenses, no,
Then
I
it'd
add
be 30 versus 30.
No. Okay, no. I add an extra level, and then I add because right now it's 31 and 29. So I add a level. I add 2 to my defenses, and
what
then
level
I'm
are you?
30.
I'm so confused right now.
I'm level
no,
30. I have 31
Okay.
in my attacking stats and 29 in my defensive stats. So if I get bumped up a level and then add 2 to my defenses, it all balances out. Is all I'm saying.
How far away are you from leveling up?
I'm only like 200 and change away.
That's the entire level almost.
It-
Because the entire level is 310.
yeah, it's fine. I'm already like 20% of the way there. Just I gotta have the rest.
That's a no for me, dog.
Well, why not?
Go buy some donuts. I don't know. Anyway, short answer is no, Muhammad. Please fix that as you guys are on the train.
Bad. Okay.
Anyway, it's a 32 mile /unit /distance travel, which is going to take a little over a day. We're transitioning over to August 16th. As you head on to the train, you're heading away from the library onto the train right now. Is there anything you want to do before you leave the city? That's actually a good question to ask.
I don't think there's anything that Rose wants to do otherwise. Everything on her list has been done. She would probably like to get away from the city quickly to make sure that she doesn't want to go back and deal with BAP.
Kyle, anything you want to do before you leave the city?
I want to ride a train to get out of the city.
That seems good to me. And you guys head over to the train station, heading to Vapur. You get your ticket, you get on the train. I'm going to do this. I haven't done this in a while, I think. Also, you guys haven't been on a train in a... Well, like Kyle has. Pick carriage number 1 through 5.
I'm gonna let Kyle do that because I am still kind of just like, you apparently know what you're doing.
Kyle just like gestures to the train like, please, I insist.
I guess I walk on whatever is right in front of me. So I'm gonna roll. You said 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Roll a d6, and if you roll a nat 6, we're riding on top of the train.
I did roll a 6.
We're riding on top of the train. Let's
But
go.
I'll just re-roll that.
Aw.
I got a 1. So
Sorry,
the
what was it?
first
You got a
train
1?
car, I guess, and a 1, yeah.
Perfect. So
I
we got
tossed
the
Kyle
actual-
on top of the train.
Shut him up there. Perfect. So the actual train engine part itself, and then the first passenger compartment, you get on that. Goes back 5, and then you got a little caboose at the end where there's like storage and all that fun stuff.
We could have ridden in the caboose.
The caboose is
Oh.
locked. It's employees only.
You're telling me we couldn't have sweet talked our way into the caboose?
If we're talking about sweet talk, I do have some sweets with me.
Yeah, literally.
I'm gonna say no.
Boo!
I
I
gave you
like
the
corruption in my
opportunity, you
train
told me to
operations.
But you guys sit down in this first compartment now. As the train is getting ready for preparation, you guys are relaxing. There's a couple of other Pokemon that come on in as well. Train quickly fills up. Looks like Vapur is a big city. Also, it is August, and for simplicity's sake, for the majority of people out there, this is... It's sort of implied this way, partly because this is where all three of us are. It's all based on like northern hemisphere weather patterns. Of the summer is in June, July, August, and the winter is December, January, February, etc. So it is vacation
Yeah.
time right now. It's right before school starts, so everybody's going on that last minute trip to Giant River on their destination to the resort side of Flama. So quickly, you listen
sorry
this
to
train.
the, what is it, 10 or 20% of the world's population that are going into winter now?
Yes. So train car gets filled up. People walk on, and away you guys go. So for the next 24-ish hours, you're going to be on the train. You're going to relax. If you, for some reason, aren't fully healed, fully power pointed, full belly, and all that, you can go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure both of you are healed up all the way, so it should be fine. But
I haven't fought a single thing in my entire life.
Rose is like, I don't know what war looks like, and I plan not to.
Yeah, about that.
Hanging out with this Kyle guy, nah, that's not gonna be fun. But sure enough, you're on the train, and I will. I'll leave this to you guys for a little conversationalized thing because I know Rose has a lot of questions for Kyle. Whether or not Kyle has answers is the question, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rose does have questions, but at the moment, I'm probably not gonna ask just based off of like the situation. Things have kind of calmed down, but she's still a little overwhelmed. But I would think she's mostly just like sitting next to the window, kind of looking out, deep in thought. Because Kyle has not really been the most interactive team partner yet.
That's true. Kyle does not know talking. Kyle does not talk particularly a lot.
So Rose has just kind of like accepted her fate of like, I'm gonna follow this kid who knows what they're doing. If they wanna, I'm gonna see if I can figure things out as I go. I guess basically taking in what I can, and then I'm gonna make my judgments later.
Sure. Kyle, your thoughts as you are proceeding forward?
Well, Kyle was thinking, once this train gets moving to, Kyle has seen this Audino be very flustered and very confused. And so I think, and also, well, very, very, very flustered and very panicked initially too, right? And Rose has seemed to have calmed down a bit. So I think like when they first get on the train and the train gets moving, I think Kyle initiates small talk conversation, but not like, okay, let me tell you everything that's going on,
So how about them? About the Flama Burners, right? Sorry, I'm not a baseball watcher. Yeah.
Yeah, no baseball. What is baseball?
Well, to be fair, Kyle's not a watcher either.
Yeah, no, Kyle doesn't care about sports. I think at some point, like once the train gets moving, I think Kyle's just gonna give Rose like a little like tap on the shoulder.
What does Kyle care about?
That's a question for Kyle there. What's on your priority list of things that initiate conversation?
I mean,
Character development.
if we're not conversing, I mean, Kyle's just gonna, gonna take out his sketchbook. He's gonna draw.
We can't converse. I was just asking out of character because you said you don't care about baseball.
Like, Kyle doesn't
wouldn't talk about it.
Kyle cares about two things. Kyle cares about the world not ending, and Kyle cares about drawing. That's it. That's Kyle's whole spiel. His whole thing right now.
Yeah.
And one of them is kind of taking precedent over the other.
Rose will like respond when you tap her on the shoulder to like see what's up, but I do wonder if you ask about the painting at all, since art is a slight similarity between us.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. I forgot about the. I think Kyle was just gonna ask. So, you're good, right? You're
You're
okay.
good, right? Perfect.
You're okay with gestures wildly.
That's a good enough term as it can be for now. Big changes take some time, but I'm seeing how things are going, and I think I'll figure out what's okay. But you know how you were really offended when I said you were 10? You don't have to worry about
Kyle
me.
just feigns innocence, like, what?
What? No, no.
I have the ability to deal with my feelings. I appreciate your concern.
I think
Basically,
Kyle.
just like, I don't need you to take care of me.
Yeah, I think Kyle just like slowly nods and then just kind of turns back forward, reaches into his bag, takes out some paper, and just starts doing.
Yeah. I guess Rose wouldn't say much for a while, but like kind of looking over at like seeing what you're doing and slightly interested once you've got some scratches down. Just inquire like, oh, what, I didn't know you were an artist. What are you working on?
I think Kyle might be working on some stuff for Sidoran, so I think Kyle's gonna bring the book of myths back out and then just like flip to like a random page with one of his illustrations on it.
Oh, okay. What is the illustration of what legendary, right?
Yes. Hold on, I need to pull up the legendary list and roll a die.
Ultra Beast.
3, 6, 7, 8, so 16 plus however many there are here. I'm just rolling a D100. I can't be asked. Is this far more effort than me simply making a decision? Yes. But
I mean, I can just pick one for you because I just looked up legendaries on Bulbapedia.
I mean, I'm just looking for my dice. I don't know where. I didn't empty out my dice bag before we started, so my D100s sifted to the bottom. So.
Because my pick would be Galarian Zapdos.
Just randomly. Galarian Zapdos.
All right, yeah. I think Kyle opens the book and just like points to an image of Galarian Zapdos, and then on his page you see him like also doing like rough sketches of Galarian Articuno and the Galarian Moltres too. I guess Zadora didn't have sketches of like, some of these legendaries seem to have multiple forms, and Kyle's working on that. Also, Kyle's seen them with his bare eyes, so.
I guess that's true. That's very, very interesting. I haven't seen those before, but I guess that'll be a lot of what we interact with. So you've met a lot of legendary Pokemon? And I like kind of look up around and like lower my voice a bit when I say that because I know other people don't know they're real.
Kyle like puts up his hand and kind of shakes it to say, yeah, kinda.
So that means that I probably will too. Okay. That's besides the point, though. I like your art. It's nice. But you just I wouldn't say I'm that talented of an artist myself. I kind of just like to do it to clear my head. But do you only kind of draw things for this like kind of work, or do you do any art for yourself?
Kyle just kind of shrugs and says, I don't have that much time right now. I used to, but...
Well, I mean, I don't really know what's going on and all the urgency around things, but it kind of seems like we have time on this train right now. If you'd rather be doing your own art, now seems like a good time. Have you done painting before?
Has Kyle painted? I don't think Kyle's painted. I think Kyle just shakes his head as he's continuing to do the sketches that he is working on.
Then I think I don't know the situation of the train, whether it's like a table in the center or if it's like the airplane style drop down the food table thing, but
yeah, I think
Rose...
we tend to have our trains be carriages almost, so like individual doors in each so there's like you walk into the carriage, there's like hallways.
It's like a sleeper
train.
train.
Yeah, it's like a sleeper train. Especially because a lot of the trips are typically like 1 day, 2 day, 3 day trips. Like this one's a full day, so.
Would there be like a table in front of us then?
Yeah, we could say so. Like a small little like like a snack table type thing, and not like in that size of like decent enough to put like teacups and basic things on that.
Mm-hmm. I think Rose would probably reach into their apron and pull out some small pots of paint and whatnot and some brushes and be like, well, if you want to try, I've got supplies. I mean, you made me want to do some art too since we're on the train, but if you're too busy, maybe I can show you another time.
I think Kyle pulls out an extra like sheet of paper from his bag and just hands it to Rose. Like just a blank sheet of paper.
Oh, thank you. Does that mean you do want to?
Kyle just gives Rose a look and is like, you said you wanted to teach me, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
You wanted to show me how to paint?
Here, okay.
I mean, I know how to paint. I just haven't really tried it.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a master teacher or anything, but I've been doing it for a while. I know a thing or two, and I like spread out the paper and hand over a paintbrush, and I guess we start painting something.
Cool. Both of you guys roll me I guess performance check would be the best thing here. How good is your painting right now?
That's really good question. What is performance?
That'd be cute, I believe, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's D20 plus the cute number.
Yep.
Come on, dice, don't fail me now. That is a 12.
I
12.
got 3 + 1. Kyle's an illustrator, not a painter.
Yeah, so I think Rose, your painting turns out about what you expect. Again, you're not a professional or anything, but you can definitely do that. Kyle, being the illustrator, the sketch artist, and not the painter, the moment the colors change is immediately when Kyle's like, nope, can't do this anymore. Black and white, I got you. We add a splash of red, and all of a sudden I got no idea what's going on.
I think it's more so like the paint, because doing stuff with a paintbrush is so different from doing stuff with a pencil. And at that point, like, give Kyle some colored pencils and he's probably okay. But like the second we're working with a paintbrush, it's like, oh Lord, what is this? This feels so awkward. I have no fine control over things.
I just chuckle a little bit, I guess, if you are looking like stressed about it or something, and just be like, it's okay, it's your first time really doing any painting. I don't have them anymore, but you should have seen the first things I tried to do. You got the artist skills, so you'll get the hang of it.
Kyle, I think, just like slowly nods, and then takes a second away, looks back at his painting, crumples it up, throws it out the window, and goes back to his sketches. Kyle's like, we're gonna pretend that never happened.
We're just gonna no. Gotcha. And you guys continue on.
Like that.
there.
Like, for once, Kyle has produced something that looks like it was made by a 10-year-old, and he is not having it.
I must be better than average. What is this?
I would say at that, Rose probably looks a little dejected, but it's okay.
What I'd like both of you to do. Actually, I'll ask this to you guys. Are you going to stick to your car the entire time, or your specific carriage, or are you going to walk out of the train anytime? I assume there would be like the option to have lunch, dinner, breakfast in a specialized dining section, or take it in carriage, in compartment.
How long of a trip did you say it was?
It is a little over a day. It's 26 hours, give or take. I'm rounding it to 26, but
Right.
it is, yeah,
And
it's a
we
little over a day.
Started in the morning.
Yeah, you started at 10. It's going to reach tomorrow at noon.
Okay. I mean, I guess it would mostly depend on like how much Kyle is working on these pictures, because if he's just plugging away at them and doesn't like want to get food or anything, I would probably offer to like go and bring stuff back. But
I mean, I think Kyle looks like he's super focused, but the second Rose is like, let's go get lunch, I think Kyle just puts everything down and just gets up.
Kyle's like, food? All right, bet.
I mean, Kyle's just, doing the illustrations because he's got time, right? Like,
yeah, Rose has no idea.
yeah, Rose doesn't realize Kyle's not really on a deadline. Kyle's more just doing these as a favor, right? So
Rose is very much trying to figure out Kyle's like cadence.
Kyle's vibe, yeah. Sure. So I think let's see, it's morning right now, so lunch comes around, you go out to the dining car. I'm gonna do this rather than having it. Well, we could. Do you want to have a specific dining car, or do you want to have like a dining option in your car? Let's build this train. What do you think?
I feel like it makes sense for there to be a dining car that's not like one of the 5 passenger carriages, like maybe like in between, like there's like 2 dining cars like spread out around the train,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so I think there's probably one in between like 2 and 3, and like the end of the train or something like that. But sure, you guys head out to the dining car for lunchtime. You see a bunch of folks here, various different families and groups and other things like that. And I think lunch goes without a hitch. I think dinner goes without a hitch.
Woo!
Actually, roll for me
We
just a
love trains
D20
staying
dumb
on track.
luck.
You want us both to roll d20?
Yeah, both of you roll a D20 dumb luck.
I switched my die, so hopefully I get a better roll. Nope.
You sure you wanted us to roll that?
Yes, for the sure part. The result.
I got
may-
it too.
All right.
I got a 5.
Okay. How do I want to play this one?
And all of a sudden we hear an explosion near the front of the train.
It's like this seems. Kyle's like, this is deja vu, isn't it?
Kyle is looking up, staring directly at Anirudh from the game world, like, dude, we did this already.
What the heck? Why not? All right. Kyle, you both of you, Rose, Kyle, both of you are going through and you're meeting a bunch of folks. I think pleasantries are shared. Most of these people are folks you will never meet again. Roll for me, Rose in particular. I want to roll. What would this be? Arcana, I guess would be. This is your thing. So smart roll for Rose.
Okay. That's an 8.
Okay. Rose, you just get a flash of you get it. How's the best way to describe this? You're walking around grabbing whatever it is on your plate. I'm gonna assume it's some sort of like buffet line. Just grabbing whatever you feel like grabbing on your plate, and just out of nowhere you get a flash of. This is gonna sound real ominous. You get a flash of like evil, and then it immediately disappears. Effectively that, which I think startles you. Kyle, you do not
definitely
have
do jolt
this.
a bit.
Yeah, Kyle, I think you see Rose kind of like mini jump for a second before looking around in confusion. Meanwhile, Kyle's like, "This sandwich, this is it."
Yeah, I guess if Kyle notices this like little moment of, almost, I wouldn't call it paranoia, but like very toned down, like kind of thing. I don't know if how subtle is Rose being about this? Like, is Kyle gonna be able to chalk this up to just the same old jitters that Rose has been having, or?
Kyle, roll beauty for insight, I guess.
I mean, I don't think Rose has necessarily been having jitters as of late, but so it might look different.
Yeah.
In that sense, but my imagination is that it almost kind of looks like she like stubbed her toe or something, or like got like a weird like prick on the back of her neck that just like startled, like popped a little bit, and then maybe like a biscuit fell off her plate.
Yeah, I mean, I rolled 7 -1, so I guess Kyle is just like, maybe she's never been on a train before. It just goes back to eating his food, just like, she'll be fine.
All right.
First day on the job, everyone acts a little weird.
Yeah, sure. So you go ahead, lunch without question. Dinner, I think, goes without question as well. That event happens, but nothing in particular pops into mind. And then it's time to go to bed. We all know what this means when I say it in this particular tone. I'm gonna have both of you roll Arcana for dream sequence ?
And you said, sorry, Arcana was smart or something.
Arcana is smart, yes.
I got a 13 then.
Nat 20.
13 for Rose. Nat 20. Oh, bro.
Hey, when I need to clutch up, I clutch up. What can I say? Tell me your secrets, Anirudh. Tell me what the bad luck rolls did.
Gosh darn it. All right. So
Anirudh did not like that.
I don't. I dislike. Usually, I have plans for Nat 20s, and I dislike it when I don't have a plan for a Nat 20, which I've done enough times that I feel like it's bitten me more than it hasn't.
Okay, but also like, at least for me, with my luck with dice, right? The Nat 20s kind of come up when you're least ready for them.
That's very true.
Like all the moments where I'm like, all right, a Nat 20 would be fantastic here. Nope. Like it's a straight fail. But then all the moments where it's like, all right, don't need it. Just, need a decent. Oh, okay, Nat 20. All right. Well, that's something.
Rose, I think your dream is your normal dream. Where go to bed, wake up, dance in Parents, dance in Legendary. And I forget exactly how I described it, but it's like there was always the words like, it's not your time, it's not your time, it's almost your time, it's that sort of thing. I don't know if we have done the it's your time now
I don't believe
message.
Necessarily, but I do remember you saying that when Kyle and Adam were in the store and I said my stuff, I did see Meloetta in the window and give me like a yes nod.
I think you have the exact same dream, with two distinct differences. Number one, if you look at yourself, both you and I think it was it one of your mothers that was wearing the necklace at the same time, or was wearing the necklace during the dance? Both you and your mother are wearing that necklace, as opposed to just your mother in previous dreams. And then at the end, Meloetta says flat out to you, "This is your time. This is it." And then disappears in a flurry of whole notes and half notes and stuff. So your dream is that, it's different. And I think the one thing that pops into your head is that necklace that you've got is really important if Meloetta is showing you this. But what it means remains to be seen.
Hey, this is Mohammed, here to thank you for listening to this episode. Now that Arc 6 is underway, we're back with new episodes every week, so be sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on now. If you enjoy the show and want to show us some support, the best and easiest way to do so is to share us with a friend, grandparent, or your pet rock. I'd recommend pointing them towards the summary episode so they can join in on the Arc 6 fun. You could also show us support and give us feedback on what you want to see from the show by leaving us a review on your podcast platform of choice and helping us appease the algorithmic powers that be. If you want to engage with us more directly, you could join the Not a Scratch Discord server to connect with our community of listeners and Pokemon and or TTRPG fans. You can also visit our website at notascratchcast.com for an episode catalog, merch store, featured fan art, and more. Many thanks to GlitchX City for her songs Kirby's Dreamland, Route 225 Lo-Fi Remix, Pokemon Center themed Lo-Fi Lullaby Remix, and Rejuvenation Zen Grunt theme. And Tabletop Audio for their soundscapes Strangers on a Train and Investigator's Office. And as always, shout out to our wonderful patrons, Ginny, Ursa93, Eli, Pure Glaceon, Damon Liger, Simone Pelowakin, Fennec, Evelyn C., Journeyman Negative, Robert O., and Arming Sword and Buckler. The Not a Scratch Patreon is the way to support our more ambitious projects, while also getting early access to episodes and exclusive bonus series. I don't know. If you're interested in further supporting our content, and are in a place to do so financially, consider becoming a Not a Scratch patron. For more information on everything I've mentioned here, check out the links in the description. Feel free to reach out to us on Discord, our socials, or by email with any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, or if you'd like to promote your content here on Not a Scratch. Thanks again for listening to our show, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
All right, Kyle.
That's the exasperation of a GM who is just done with this player. It's like, I have to deal with you.
Kyle. How do I even play this? Jeez. All right. You go to bed and you wake up in your train car. Rose is across from you, and the beds I think have been spread out. Rose is asleep. You wake up in your train car. First thoughts.
I think Kyle's just gonna very quickly peer towards the window and just be like, hold on, can I not stay asleep? What's going on here?
You look to the window. The window does not have your reflection on it. There's no reflection. You look at the window and you see the outside world, but there's no, even with glass, sometimes you can see the vague outline of nothing.
Kyle's a vampire.
He
turned into a Golbat.
Kyle's been a Golbat this whole time.
There is something that we established a long time ago that I'm dusting off an old one here. Kyle's gonna be like, all right, hold on, this is weird. Kyle's just gonna try hovering off the ground a little bit. It's just floating.
Oh gosh, what is the answer to this?
Anirudh, you know the question I'm asking.
I know, I can't remember what we set up. I think you're asking if you can fly.
Basically, yeah.
And I forget what we said the answer was, depending on the situation. Like, if it is a dream world, you would not be able to fly, but if it's a dream, you could? Is that how we did it?
Well, yes
believe
and
so.
no, because Kyle's had dreams based in the dream world where he's been able to fly, and that's how he differentiates whether he's dreaming in the dream world or actually in the dream world.
Okay.
And I forget if this is extended out to other dreams or not. I don't remember.
I don't know if this answers your question or if this adds more chaos to the situation, but you can float.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
It's because you're a go-ban.
Let me just change Kyle's ability to levitate real quick.
Yeah, just whoop.
All right, cool. I think, interesting. Why am I having a dream in the train? This feels weird. We're gonna do some exploring.
Cool. Are you gonna stay in the are you going to, like, are you gonna look around the car, or are you gonna exit the car?
Well, the car being what?
Oh, your compartment.
Oh yeah, no. We're leaving this train. There is something on this. Well, I think first we're gonna do a little sweep of the room, make sure everything like looks normal in the room. Everything is there in the room. Nothing's disappeared in the room, and we explore.
Yeah, nothing weird is here. Your bags are in the place that you left them. Rose is in the place that you left them. Manaphy's asleep next to you, who's also asleep, and you're ready to just keep going.
Yeah, no, all right. We are leaving our little cabin, and I'm glad we landed on the first car, because I think we're going to go from the front of the train and just start doing a little sweep all the way down, What's going on
Only
around
because
here?
this is a nat 20. Maybe this doesn't matter. Only because it's a nat 20, I will state this, which I don't know if it matters or not, that you are asleep. Like, you see yourself asleep.
Cool.
I don't know if that matters or not.
No, that's actually, that doesn't change my plan at all, because now I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm having some sort of dream about either what's happening, or I'm literally getting to see what's happening on this train while I'm asleep. I get to do some snooping around.
Cool. You just phase right through the door. No need to open it. You just do walk right past, and you are currently in the hallway. Hallway of this little compartment, or of this carriage on the train. There are 5 passenger carriages. Each one, I'm gonna say, probably has what would be a good number? Like 6 rooms. So
Okay.
there's around 30 odd rooms here where multiple people can join in. So
Yeah.
probably somewhere around 60 to 80 folks on this train.
Cool. I think we're gonna start from the very front, and I think Kyle's gonna see if there's anything weird in the hallways. Maybe poke his head into each of the little compartments, just like, oop, all right, nothing suspicious happening here. Oop.
Yeah, most of them are either they're either empty, or they have folks asleep, or it's stuff like that. There are also, and at the end of every carriage, there is not a valet, a concierge, I guess, like a person like watching over to help out if anyone rings the bell for assistance. But nothing like that. You have a nat 20, so I mean, all right, I'll just tell you everything about that. You go into carriage number. I will go into 2 next, I presume.
Yeah. We're working our way back.
Cool. You go into carriage number 2, and of the 6 doors, one of them still has their lights on.
Oh.
The others are presumably asleep. And if you wanted to do a quick check, you could. They're all asleep or empty. But one of the carriages has their lights on. Somebody is working in there, or still is awake.
I think Kyle's gonna poke his head in and he's like, "Oh, what's happening here?"
So you pop on in, and what you see is a Pokemon. Let me pull this up just to make sure that I have the information right. So you see a Pokemon in here. This is a layout that you recognize very familiarly. Not necessarily because of the Pokemon in here, but the style of what they are. Because there are papers strewn about everywhere as if somebody's in the middle of a massive research project. This is Sindoran vibes. It's not Sindoran. This is Sindoran vibes of somebody that's clearly working on answering a question.
Someone's doing their homework.
Yep. And you see this someone is you would recognize this. This is a Cyndaquil. So a Cyndaquil going through, grabbing papers, reading through stuff.
This is a Cyndaquil. Is it a Cyndaquil I've met? I don't think I've met a Cyndaquil.
I don't think you've met a Cyndaquil. I don't think there's been a Cyndaquil on the show. But yes, this is a Cyndaquil going through, reading through papers, trying to analyze some stuff. Go ahead and give me any from now until the end of this dream sequence. Any roll that I ask you to do is with advantage for your nat 20. So,
Hey, we'd love to see it.
for this, I want you to give me a smart roll. I guess this is a history thing. This is more of just an understanding of what these papers are about.
Can I recognize and understand what's on the papers?
Yes, that's basically what it is.
So I rolled a 14 and I rolled another nat 20.
All right.
Just tell me. Just give me the red book. Honestly, just mail it to me. Like,
Oh, this is fun.
all right, Daisy. I'll send you a copy.
So how do I do this? All right, couple of things to note. We'll just go through this completely. Number one, this Cyndaquil, obviously some sort of researcher. They are not a professional researcher. You can sort of get this by the fact that none of these are like published papers. They're just papers that are written down. Analysis. This is really like the police board of like pins on the board and moving around and very much trying to figure things out from there. That's the first thing. Second thing that you find out,
like student vibes.
basically, sort of in that vibe. Second thing you notice as the Cyndaquil gets excited very quickly, their flames kind of pop out. Their flames are blue and not red. For a brief second when they're excited, the flames shoot out a little bit. They are blue and not red.
Okay.
That is there. Yes. Third thing that you recognize, and this is the thing that's most important, this Cyndaquil very clearly is studying evolution and why it's no longer a thing.
Ooh. Hold on.
Or at least that's what their papers are describing. How evolution stopped becoming a thing all of a sudden.
I like this little plot thread you've given us here. I'm not gonna lie, I like this. Does this Cyndaquil seem to have answers? Does the Cyndaquil seem to be close to finding answers? Does the Cyndaquil seem like they might need help finding answers?
They could use all the help they can get. You get that very clear. Because it seems
Kyle
like
want answers.
does Kyle want answers?
I don't know
Kyle
if
very
Kyle
much
wants
wants
answers. I don't know if Kyle wants answers. I want answers.
But yeah, so the way that this looks is a Pokemon like normal. If they had enough battle experience, they could evolve or choose to evolve. And then that just stopped, and a lot of strong Pokemon just couldn't evolve anymore. People thought, oh, maybe it's because they didn't reach the right levels, so they did more training, and that didn't work. Maybe this would work. Maybe it's just a weird thing with like the level up Pokemons, but the item ones should still work, right? And then the item ones didn't work. Okay, maybe it's the ones that have like the trust or friendship based things, and so people quite literally like married their best friends and like loved each other for decades on decades trying to see if this would work, and then it didn't. Which led to a lot of confused marriages and a bunch of other like chaotic situations where evolution concepts just stopped.
And I assume that this is sometime in the past, like decade or two, right?
Yes, this is something, and this is a thing.
This is like a relatively recent development.
This. When you were a kid, you remember, because your sister, I believe, is a Grovyle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember your sister evolving, but you don't remember. Then that was when you were a kid. Like you had memories for this, so it wasn't too long ago.
It had to. That was within the last like 5 years.
Exactly. And then last couple of years, it just stopped.
And no one's looked into it? Hold on.
Oh, no. There are a bunch of people looking into it. But most of it has turned into, well, maybe we've just evolved to a point where evolution isn't a thing that we need anymore. And then some people are fine with that because some people are fine with that because they're first stage and only stage monsters. They're like, we're not evolving anyway. I'm cool with it. Whatever. Some people
don't care.
like
not my problem.
Some people like their current forms and don't want to press the B button. And then some people are very mad about the B button. Yeah, they don't want to bother. They want to train without having to worry about the B button. You're buying Everstone.
They want Eviolite.
The Everstone market has collapsed in the recent years.
The Everstone market has collapsed unless there's been a nationwide. This is big conspiracy brain. There's been a nationwide effort where the water supply across all states has been infused with very finely crushed Everstone.
And people are just drinking anti-evolutionary.
It's like how there's like fluoride in the water to like help like keep it clean and like also like helps keep your teeth like kind of strongish, right? It's the same kind of deal, but with Everstone, where like all right now it's no one just to prevent people from evolving.
Anyway, a bunch of theories are out there.
That's not what Anirudh has in the book, and I rolled a nat 20, so he's telling me what's in the book, but.
People live longer before they evolve, so if we just keep everyone from evolving,
then people will live forever, right? That's how it works.
I was thinking a little bit more sinister. I was thinking, well, the people will get too strong if they evolve. So in order for us to consolidate and keep our power, we have to keep the people weak.
But yeah, so this is a Pokemon that has been studying this, going through this. They're going from their own perspective. If you have any other questions about this, we can. Otherwise, we can exit this car and move on to the next ones.
So, very recent development. No one knows why. A lot of things have been tried and no one has any answers. And this Cyndaquil looks stuck on this.
This Cyndaquil has reached the point that about 50 other researchers have of just, look, it's a thing now.
And this Cyndaquil is just looking for some sort of breakthrough.
Yes. They seem heavily invested into this. If you had to guess, it's probably because they really want to evolve.
Yeah. How old does this Cyndaquil appear to be?
That's a good question.
Like, is this like a middle school age Cyndaquil? Like a full grown, like probably not a full grown adult Cyndaquil, right? Like I imagine this Cyndaquil can't be much older than or else this Cyndaquil might probably be a Quilava by now. Unless this is like a high school age Cyndaquil who's like, getting bullied for not having evolved. It's like, well, hey, look, I can't. You can't either.
I'm trying to see what I wrote down here. Why can't I find it? Come on. I'm going to say, because I can't find the number that I wrote down. Yeah, I can't find the number. I'm going to say they're late teens, early 20s age. Somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, someone that is interested in that now, but hasn't, probably didn't, like, chose to push it off until they were older, and now that they're older, it's no longer an option. Like, come on, I wanted to do it.
Yeah. Interesting.
But that is this.
Well, I'm glad we're on this train until noon.
Yeah, that is true.
I have to run into this Cyndaquil at breakfast.
Yeah, oh, hey, how you doing? So that's the case there. We can move on to the next car, I guess. If you want to continue going forward.
I think
Kyle's 20, so I'm gonna share a bunch of stuff.
Kyle's continuing his sweep of the train, for sure.
Great. Carriage number 3. You reach another car. There is another group, another single carriage that has the lights on. They're dimming. They're like dim, but they're still on. And
you pause. You pause. Like, I'm not gonna continue my very thorough sweep because, if there's what, like, I think this was like a fun aside for Kyle, but Kyle's like initial instinct when he like, wakes up and realizes, hold on, I'm dream inspecting the train in real time is, hold on, there's something suspicious going on. I need to, investigate whatever I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was like a fun little aside. Like, oh, this seems interesting. Anyways, back to the imminent danger that's probably here.
Yeah. Cool. So you enter into carriage number 3. One of the compartments is open. You waltz on in, and there are 2 Pokemon in here. There's a Lucario and a Glaceon that are sitting here conversing to each other. You quickly learn just how, from what they're talking about as they're preparing for bed. The Lucario's name is Lucille, right? Lucille? I think it's Lucille. I don't know.
Lucille
and he
the
is,
Lucario.
Yeah. And then there is a Glaceon here whose name is Selena.
Okay.
And you get this from the conversation. And they're talking about... it seems... very quickly, you get Lucario here, very, very... very socially awkward, I guess is the best way to describe it. And they're sort of like practicing how to talk to people, which is a thing I do in real life more often than I'd like to admit.
Don't we all?
Yep. And it seems like the Selena is also, the Glaceon is also training the Lucario in some way, as Lucario is like, you see, like, it's the best way to describe this. Like, as they're lying back in bed, they just get their hand out, and you see them just like stretch their hands out. They're like flicking stuff away. It feels like it's the motion that they're doing, as if they're trying to generate something. And every now and then you'll see a flash of blue, before
Ooh.
it disappears again. And then after a little bit of time, they change their motion a little bit, and now instead of a flick, they do like a twist of their hand, a couple of twists of their hands, and then boom, you see this like blue ball of energy that appears in their hands. They look at this, they're like, Glaceon's like, good job, that's a good one, that's a good one. And Lucille looks at it like, yeah, but it's not as strong as I'd like it to be, and then like switches it off. Two hands now, as if their like hands are together, and they stretch, like they put their fingertips against each other as if they're doing the like contemplative thinking, like fingertips against each other, and they stretch it outwards. And as they stretch it outwards, a blue ball forms, and this one is like a darker blue. You can tell this is definitely more powerful. It's like this is what I'm aiming for. Fade away. And they have a conversation. I don't think you understand too much about it, because they talk about all these like. Well, actually, that's a good point. Go ahead and roll for me. I guess Arcana check.
Anirudh, do you really want to play this game with me right now?
Apparently,
do you really want to play
this?
this game? Do you really want to play this game? All right. 3 and 12. 12 plus 1, 13.
You sort of understand this has something to do with Lucario themselves, but not really sure what they mean, because they're talking about this thing called aura, which feels like it sounds familiar, but it doesn't make much sense. And it's like
Yeah, I don't think I would really understand it.
They're talking about this thing called like soul energy and the ability to use the internal energy inside as energy for attacks. But it seems like this that Selena is like this Lucario's trainer almost.
Which is interesting that a Glaceon is training a Lucario in the ways of aura. That's interesting. Fun little side story.
But that's the conversation here, and this quickly, I think it loses all meaning to you, and you head out to the next car.
Yeah, Kyle's like, all right, this is cool. Nothing suspicious. This is fine.
Car number 4, you enter into, and in car number 4, all of them are empty. But are you still going to, or all of them not empty? Sorry, all of them are lights off. Are you still going to?
Oh yeah, for the ones that like the lights are off, Kyle's still like poke his head in because making sure it's not anyone up to no good, right?
You pop in, you see that everyone in these cars are asleep. But when you pop into one of the cars, you recognize a specific Pokemon, as it looks like Indy the Phanpy is out here just snoozing on the train.
Oh, cool.
It looks like they're on another expedition as well. Their bags are dirty. They're doing another one of their explorations. It looks like it's heading in this direction at least. So it's a fun little thing.
I mean, this train is it's a one stop line, right? It's not like the train like keeps going past Vapor, right? So
yeah, this is one stop. So
yeah, might ride into Indy on the platform at the end. That's cool.
Yep, that is the case here. And then you go over to the final carriage.
And this is where Anirudh throws the story for a loop.
Maybe. You head into the final carriage. All of the lights are off. You pop into each one of the compartments just to see what's there. And all of them are empty except one. When you look into this last one, you see 3 characters that we haven't talked about in a long, long time. But they're out here, lights off, making game plans. As, you gotta love them. You gotta love them. It's been a minute. We gotta bring them back, don't we?
Anirudh, I know Hyper Beam.
I might not do a lot to them.
I'm blasting these fools.
But you see here, making new plans for their new criminal activities, Ignis, Metamorph, and Seti of Rock and Rampage, that bad guy team that showed up a lot earlier in the season. They're back and better than
earlier
ever.
in the season, literally the 3rd episode of the show, and we haven't seen them since.
No, you've seen them.
We saw them in Arc 0, we saw them in Arc 1, and then we haven't heard from them in 3 years.
Ralph has
They've
seen
shown
them
up
in Arc
somewhere.
2, I think. Ralph saw them in Arc 2.
Oh,
his
right.
solo
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. Right.
And then we haven't seen them since.
We haven't
but
seen
they're
them
back
in 2.5 years.
Yeah. But they're here with a new game plan. And if you want to know what that game plan is, go ahead and roll for me, I guess. This would be investigation. I guess this is another smarty thing.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say go ahead and listen to the next episode.
No, that's where I thought it was going too. I was ready for that. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. A 3 and an 18, so 18 plus 1.
Gotcha. Okay.
Give me the goods.
Let's see. How do I want to do this? They've got a game plan, which actually has them heading in the same direction you are. Not sure why. They've got this diorama of a mansion, and it looks like it's in. They've got this diorama of a mansion that they're heading towards. And the mansion itself is in Fluvius, so it looks like they're heading, at least following a similar route that you are, heading to Vapur, and they're going to take the boat in from the river over to the edge of Fluvius, which is the same thing that you're kind of doing.
Yeah.
And then going from there.
It's a mansion on the coast of Fluvius.
It's a mansion on the coast of Fluvius. It's basically like it's a mansion that's like separate from the mainland itself, because you got to travel a little bit on a boat, and there's like a couple of football stadium wide long like jagged rock that shoots up, and there's a mansion on top of this rock, and it looks like they're trying to put it bluntly, they're trying to break into this mansion.
Yeah, they've got the security schematics and everything up.
Yep, and it looks like the explanation for this is because there's a giant treasure that's in this mansion itself. It seems to have been abandoned, but they wanna figure that out. So they're going through that. You are currently in your dream form, so you can't interact with them.
No, but
any other details in particular?
I hear the whole game plan.
You do. You hear basically the entire game plan, what their game is.
And they're heading.
Can't really do much about it.
I can't do much about it. Okay, so they're heading in the same direction as us, but at a certain point we're gonna split off because it's not like this mansion is directly on our way. It's a little bit out of our.
Yeah. If you're straight lining it to the edge, then it's a little out of your way.
Yeah. No, this
in the next couple of days, you'll probably be on the same mode of transportation, and then at a certain point, you'll split.
I mean, we're also already on the same mode, Chris.
Well, right now it's a train. You're gonna take the same boat over to a certain area, and then once you get there, is probably when you'll split.
Yeah. Now the question, I think we gotta do some homework and see if there are any like local authorities we can alert to meet them there. Like is there a tip line I can call and just be like, hey?
There's probably an authority thing. I mean, you've got like half the recruit leaders' notifications. You could always go through your phone network of like, I'm gonna call Adam. Adam calls this guy gets this done, or something along those lines. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there's nothing else really that I can share with you about this. Yeah,
because like if it was like directly on the way, Kyle would be like, all right, I'm just gonna beat them there, wait for them, and then dispatch them before they could really do any damage, and then be on my merry way. But since it's a little bit out of the way, Kyle's like, well, I know this bad thing's gonna happen, but I'm working on preventing this worse thing. So
right,
is it worth the detour? I think Kyle's gonna Kyle. All right, Kyle knows this is happening, which is cool. So I think Kyle's gonna take note of whatever he can, get at like as much info on their game plan as possible, and then in the morning give Adam a quick ring and be like, hey, so kind of sort of learned about this thing that's happening. You want to let someone know? Am I the one who's supposed to deal with it? What's going on here?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. All right. That's about everything on the compartment drains. Anything else you want to do before you go back to yourself?
There's no there's no hazardous materials being transported in the caboose. Nice.
I mean, you can check, but
I assume not. I hope not.
Would you like to check?
Is that you telling me that there might be?
I am asking if you would like to check.
Anirudh, I'm gonna say yes. We're gonna go into the caboose. There's gonna be no hazardous materials, and I'm going to reach through my microphone, through the USB cable, through my Wi-Fi adapter, over to your computer, and slap you across the...
Please don't. But if you would like to, go ahead, go inside, and give me another smart roll, I guess.
I'd like to think of myself as a slightly intelligent, incredibly lucky fella.
I like how this entire thing is happening while Rose is like having the same dream as always. I think it's one of those things where Rose is like, the dancing thing. I like this dream.
So I rolled a 6, and I rolled a nat 20.
Anirudh,
right. What are you hiding back? Anirudh, what are you hiding in the caboose? Tell me. Also, is that 3? Is that 3 or 4?
That's
20s.
That's 3, I think, today.
That's 3. That's right, because 1 on Secrets of Evolution, 1 on, hey, overpowered dream sequence, and 1 on, hey,
What's in the back of the bus?
what's hiding here?
Oh, shoot. All right, wait.
I have single-handedly ruined Anirudh's entire plan for the next 3 episodes.
Wait, I'm going to roll this. I want you to hear this if you can. Just. Ooh, all right. Why not? This is not what I wanted to do, but I did say I was going to do this at some point. So you go in the back of the caboose here, and you see there's a lot of machinery. That's the best way to describe it. There's a bunch of gears and cogs and metal plates and all that sort of stuff that's back here. It looks like they're transporting that in the caboose. And you also see in the back there's somebody that's asleep,
A stowaway.
potentially.
Well, who's sleeping? Are they wearing a uniform of the railway company that's running this train, or are they a stowaway? Also,
They
you
are.
said we couldn't. Also, you said we couldn't ride in the caboose. We could have ridden in the caboose.
Well, this is why you can't ride in the caboose. Otherwise, this guy would be revealed. Person there. They're currently in the conductor out form, but they have like a blanket on them as they're asleep.
Okay.
It's up to you what you would like to do here.
Do they have? Because I assume,
I'll answer
I
basically
assume
all
the
your
employees
questions.
of the train have some spot they are willing that they have to sleep and take their break, right?
Well, most of them have like this. Most of the other carriages, there's been like a table and a chair, and usually if they sleep, they just lie on the table. There is nothing that in this compartment.
Well, and I assume up in the up on the actual locomotive itself, right? There's a little spot for the engineers to nap while the other one's running the train and vice versa, right?
Normally, yes. In this compartment, there is not. This is supposed to be a storage-only
Well,
compartment.
this is supposed to be storage. Well, my whole thing is if there's someone in a uniform that's sleeping all the way back here in the back of the caboose where no one can really find them, when they have more comfortable accommodations already, as part of their
the train.
as part of the train, I'm gonna need to see some identification.
I mean, you're a ghost, so
Well, yeah, no, but do they have a badge with an ID on it? Do they have is there? Because they're wearing the uniform, right? Would the uniform have a name printed on it, a title printed on it, right?
it does, but with a nat 20 investigation, you can tell this is fake.
Okay, it's not a Pokemon I recognize, is it?
No, it's not a Pokemon you recognize. You can throw any Pokemon; it doesn't really matter in this case.
What? You're telling me there is a fake conductor on board, but it doesn't matter? What, sir? The entire security of this train ride has been compromised.
Can I get non-water types, please? Oh, because it's
I'm sorry. You have a 10% chance of pulling a water type. I hate to break it to you.
Sure, why not? It's an Excadrill, let's say.
The next.
It's an
That seems
Excadrill
like-
in a conductor's uniform that's sleeping in the back.
That seems like someone who could very easily derail a train for nefarious reasons. Well, my priorities have shifted 5 different times through everything I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally I was like, all right, let me wake up, let me go to the breakfast area, let me find this Cyndaquil, and let me just do a little handshake, introduce myself. And then I was like, oh wait, no, all right, let me go, let me call Adam, let me figure out what the deal is with this thing. And I was like, hold on, there's someone on this train that should not be here. What's going on?
Anything else you would like to do here, or would you like to head back to sleep?
This X-Trail doesn't have any tools of the trade, would they?
Tools of the trade per se? No, not really. They've got a bag and a general stuff like that, but nothing screams, I'm going to break the train.
I think she's gonna break the train. Okay. Well, let's hope Kyle wakes up before most people on this train, because we're doing some investigating.
Okay, so you're going to head back to your room?
Yeah, I think we head back and we say, okay, mental alarm clock, please go off 2 hours before other people wake up, please.
As you're
Kyle's also
exiting
10.
this, yeah, as you're exiting this this compartment, make a dexterity roll, like a cool roll here.
Well,
Yeah, the dice have finally caught up to me.
6 plus 1.
Okay. Yeah, I think you feel something hit your back as you turn around and walk away as a ghost, which is even more confusing. But you feel something hit your back, and as it does, this is when you wake up.
Huh?
That's the end of this episode.
Why? Anirudh, why are you like this? Why?
Because I feel like it.
Boo this man! Boo!
Every episode has to come to an end, otherwise the podcast would never stop. That is why.
That is true.
For arc
that's the
9,
end of
we
this
just have to
episode.
sit down and do the entire arc in one sitting.
That would be hilarious.
Well, a little 30-hour
Why not?
marathon. Anything wrong with that?
Yeah.
We'll order
I think
pizza.
all of our brains would break, but beside that.
I'll order pizza. It's fine.
That's the end of
Just
this
for
episode,
you.
everyone. Then I was hoping that this would be an hour-ish, and then it didn't become that because he had to roll a nat 20. So I had to share as much as I could. But next time, we won't have nat 20s, probably. Maybe. Who am I kidding?
No, it's Daisy's turn to ruin your life.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening, watching, and supporting in any way, shape, or form that you do. I have been your PME, DME, GM, Andrew himself.
I've been Mohammed, playing Kyle.
And I've been Daisy, playing Rose.
And until next time, stop rolling nat 20s against me. It's not fair.